we expected one baby, bring home one baby, wait a few years, one more baby, and that didn't quite come to pass. In reading through the different books and them telling us that, there were great chances of having a lot of complications, it didn't really sink in. In my mind, I was going to carry to at least 36 weeks, which would be full term for a triplet pregnancy, and we were maybe in the NICU for a week and we would be fine.
I was completely in denial of any problems being an issue, even as we went through the process with the perinatologist. And it wasn't really until Jackie started having complications and required a cerclage that I realized that things were going to get a little bit challenging.
The girls were born at 26 weeks and 3 days. They all weighed below 2 pounds. The biggest was 1 pound 15 ounces, and our smallest, Faith, was 1 pound 5 ounces. And we were in the NICU for 4.5 months.
Well, Jackie and I are both faithful people, and I personally never felt betrayed. I never was angry. I always felt like we were in the hands of God. And I think from the moment of their birth, even prior to their birth, we put it in the hands of God and rested upon that.
While we were in the NICU, there were a multitude of people that really rallied to our side. Eric is from DC. His family came down. My parents lived in Arkansas at the time. They came to help, and I don't know whether it was right or wrong, is that Eric and I really closed ranks. We wanted it just to be he and I in the NICU with the girls. They were so sick, and one of the neonatologists recommended that the least amount of people that came to see them from the outside lowered their chances of getting any kind of illness. And so we basically were alone in the NICU, Eric and I and the girls. One of the things I remember most was the overwhelming sense of being alone, even though you're surrounded by people. And that was hard.
There are financial as well as emotional components with being a dad in the NICU. You're responsible for figuring out how everything's going to get paid and for getting the services, support services that you need. And you have to deal with the insurance company, and the hospital has to get paid, and you have to worry about deductibles and how all that comes together.
We learned early on that the divorce rate for higher order multiples is 80% of people. We had a very strong bond in the NICU, and then I was not 100% when they all came home. Obviously, on top of that, there's sleep deprivation from having newborns in the house, and then the worry and the stress. And ultimately, after a time, I found out I had post-traumatic stress disorder. But Eric held it together. Eric was the person that kept our family going, kept our family alive, kept our family together, and I can never repay that. And he is the one that, for 2 years probably, that held our family together until I could regain some semblance of normalcy. And I'm very grateful for that. So the first birthday party was, first of all, it was a celebration. And Eric and I knew that we wanted it to be a celebration of life. And the girls had been quarantined for a year. They had not been really out. People could not visit a lot. They could not be around other children. So this first birthday party was the first time the girls had actually been around other kids. And we probably had 200 people. It was a very big step in our life. It was re-entering the world for Eric and I, and it was the coming out party for the girls.
No matter what the socioeconomic situation of the family is, the bottom line is there are support services for the families that are in the NICU, and they're fantastic. But once those families leave the NICU, everybody assumes everything's okay, and there's nobody there to help them. And that's where Hand to Hold comes into play. They're the services, they're the support system, they're the people who've been there before to help those families transition to those next 3 years of waiting and trying to figure out how their children are going to develop.
Hi, I'm Kelli Kelley. At Hand to Hold, we understand that a high-risk pregnancy, a complicated birth, a NICU stay, or loss of a baby can be a very traumatic and isolating experience. Research shows that NICU parents often suffer from depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, which can inhibit their ability to appropriately bond with their baby. And it also puts the babies at a higher risk for not receiving adequate follow-up care following their NICU stay. It's Hand to Hold's mission to provide comprehensive navigation, resources, and support programs to reduce the impact of the NICU stay and help prepare parents to meet the needs of their medically fragile child after hospital discharge.
Hand to Hold's website has become a leading source of information for NICU parents and the professionals who serve them. Handtohold.org welcomed more than 400,000 unique visitors in the past year. It provides families timely, credible, relevant information to help them understand their children's needs and make informed decisions. More than 14,000 NICU and bereaved parents sought support through Hand to Hold's award-winning Helping Hand Peer Mentor Program and Life After NICU online forum in 2014. Parents that receive support from a peer mentor who have shared a similar experience report less stress, anxiety, and depression, and indicate that their interactions with their peer help to reduce their feelings of isolation, provided validation of their emotional experiences, and help to normalize the situation. In order for NICU babies to thrive after discharge, they need smart, informed parents who understand their needs and are emotionally and physically capable of caring for a medically fragile child. In 2012, Hand to Hold introduced its NICU Resource Library, a collection of 25 educational resources on topics from bed rest to preparing for discharge. The library has earned the endorsement of the National Perinatal Association and is now used by hospitals across the country. Hand to Hold's NICU Graduate Handbook is a post-discharge guide for NICU parents, providing information about their baby's unique developmental and healthcare needs. Through a special partnership with St. David's Healthcare, Hand to Hold's Family Support Navigators now provide direct support to parents at St. David's Medical Center and North Austin Medical Center. Our social workers are also parents who have had personal NICU experiences, so they are intimately aware of the emotional, physical, financial, and psychological challenges of being a NICU parent. Like parents, siblings need support, encouragement, and information to navigate the challenges associated with a NICU stay. Hand to Hold's NICU tour video for siblings is narrated by a NICU graduate and helps young children understand why their baby brother or sister is not quite ready to come home. Coupled with Hand to Hold's custom activity books for siblings and monthly Sibling Sunday events, Hand to Hold strives to provide the tools and resources parents need to educate their young children about the NICU and their important role as big brothers and sisters. Hand to Hold's online photo and essay contest, Preemie Power, continues to provide a fun way for parents to recognize and celebrate the many challenges their babies have overcome. In response to multiple requests from hospitals across the country, Hand to Hold is working to develop a standardized support group curriculum for NICU parents that hospitals can easily adopt and implement.
With approximately 500,000 babies born preterm every year in the United States and thousands more needing critical care in the NICU, the need for education, resources, and support programs for NICU families is significant. Hand to Hold could not be more proud of the impact that we are having in the lives of these extraordinary families. But we need your support to ensure that all NICU families have a hand to hold during and after a NICU stay.